What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Urban Platform Speaks. This is a sports edition. This is not the Sunday sports edition, but I was having a conversation with my co-host, my man Clayton. What's good,
Yeah.
Clayton?
What's up, bro? What's
And,
up, good? What's good, everybody? Whoever watching? What's up?
yeah, yeah, I'm sure some people will pick up soon. But
Yeah.
yeah. So we spoke about. First off, I'm gonna put this little picture up
Okay.
because this picture is what really sparked the conversation that we had. So,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, um, Victor, let me pull this little thing out of here. Uh, yeah, all right, there you go. So this was an article that was in Yahoo Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Wembanyama, his contract versus Caitlin Clark's contract,
Mm-hmm.
and so she is getting what 4 years, 338,000, and he's get and Victor Wembanyama is 4 years, 55 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now we both know and we understand that the WNBA don't generate the kind of money that the NBA generate. So
Right.
I don't want people to be like, well, they don't make that, they don't make that kind of money.
Right.
But I still think that, you know what I mean? I still and personally think that the WNBA can do better than that because I think that already right off the top, the WNBA made that much. They'll make that money before she even hit the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
do you think that she is being fairly compensated for who
Um,
she is and for what she is going to bring to the table?
Fairly compensated? No. And that's because I don't
Yeah.
even believe as much as the NBA players are making. I don't believe they're actually being fairly compensated per what I would like to
Hmm.
see.
Hmm.
Because, like you said, when you're talking about a league generating billions in terms of the NBA and
Yeah.
the players are making, yeah, they're making hundreds of millions, but you know, um, I
Yeah.
don't know.
So
The product is the driving force behind the revenue. So, whatever you can negotiate. Now, if I'm facilitating something, you know, um, all I'm doing is facilitating. I don't
hmm
know. I don't know because the NBA does split their revenue 50-50 with the players. So I don't know.
yeah.
But
Do, so
this is why
do
I
you
think it's
think the
unfair
NBA?
with the girls. Huh?
Uh-huh.
This is why I think it's unfair for the females because I think their percentage of the revenue,
Hmm.
so much of that is in the dark. Like like well, some reports have it being they get 50% of whatever the incremental revenue, meaning anything over what the target revenue is. If they make anything extra, so to speak, then the females can
Right.
get
Right.
50% of that. And some reports got it being they only really getting 20% of the
Hmm.
revenue. So, and the actual numbers are in the dark. So, with that being
Yeah.
said, I think it's unfair in terms of the percentages, but
Right. Right.
whatever that
And
percentage equate to, that's what it is. Go ahead.
mhm. Yeah. And see, I can agree with that. Like, and
Hmm.
that's what I hear from a lot of the WNBA players too. They say they don't want to
Hmm.
get what the men get, but they do want to get like a fair, percentage close to,
Right,
like what the men are getting.
right.
And so that just led me to thinking that, all right, if the WNBA is not giving a fair percentage to the ball players, to their athletes, and the athletes are what brings people to the arenas.
Hmm.
We had a discussion about this earlier today.
Hmm.
Do you think Caitlin Clark, and now I'm not even saying that she should do this, but do you think that Caitlin Clark has the leverage and to make the WNBA step up, like as far as pay is concerned? Do you think that she has that kind of leverage?
No, because
You don't think so?
no. On the surface, it
Yeah,
appears that way. Like I would say, the
yeah.
popularity, the
Hmm.
following, she has leverage, but she doesn't because of the business of relationships she's already cultivated. This puts her back at a disadvantage because she's in business with people who are also in business with the WNBA and make money off the WNBA outside of Caitlin, and it'd be such a conflict of interest. I think she loses leverage with her other business relationships, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, all right. To me, I think she have leverage, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Caitlin Clark, she comes to the WNBA with her own base.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes to the WNBA with her own base.
Mm-hmm.
So the the um the base that she brings to the NBA, to the WNBA, and not to say that like those people are not basketball fans already, but if Caitlin Clark was to say, all right, well, I don't think that, like this is enough money for me to pay to play in the WNBA. I'm gonna just go ahead and 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 boycott the WNBA until y'all come back to the table and negotiate a more fair rate. That wouldn't hurt her because, I just showed you, she making $300,000 to play in the WNBA. That's like 70 something thousand dollars a year. She can
Mm-hmm.
go overseas and
Mm-hmm.
and probably double that or triple that. So if she was to go to the WNBA, I mean, go overseas and play because she's advocating for the ladies in the WNBA, that right there would be big because you had, number one, she would get support from her fan base. Like I said, that's what she already brings to the table. Then she would get
Mm-hmm.
support from the players in the
From who?
WNBA. Oh, Caitlin would. She would get support from them. She would get
Right.
support from women who are already playing in other leagues who want fair and just payment. She would get support for feminine. She would get so much more support if she was to pull that move.
It appears that way, but here's one caveat to that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily know if she gets support from the other women because you have a players
Mm-hmm.
union and a players association. And now that's the position that the players association should be taking in terms of, see, they've negotiated a contract and those contracts are binding.
Mm-hmm.
So you've collectively bargained
Yeah.
with this agreement, and now you'll have one player trying to push against it, right? And take a stand against it to force an institution to scrap the negotiation and create a new one and create new exceptions before that agreement
Mm-hmm.
runs out. So now Caitlin would actually be putting herself at odds against the players union. Now it could be some other players that feel that same sentiment, but that collective bargaining agreement is binding. Like
Well,
before they signed one, and I think the one they signed previous gave them an out around 2019 where they could renegotiate. So 2020 they got
yeah.
a new one, and it raised the revenue a little bit. But to say that, I just don't think she has. Yes, she has a fan base. It's no doubt, but the fan base will add to the WNBA, but her fan base won't subtract from the WNBA. So maybe, and then you still have all these other new crops of stars coming in the league. And a lot of what drives the sport is narratives. If you can create rivals and narratives and things of this nature, you can still thrive in the sport. You might not get that jump and the increase that Caitlin would have, but then Caitlin now is sacrificing her love because when most people move the needle in terms of change, like Kurt Flood did in Major League Baseball, creating free agency and stuff. When you have somebody pioneer something like that, normally they sacrifice their own career. If you look at history,
And that's
so
true.
I don't know if that's in Caitlin's heart to do. And she
Right?
seems
Yeah,
like she's
yeah. I'm not.
yeah, I know you saying you don't think she would do it. You just asking, does
Yeah,
she have the leverage to do it? But if I were to say, if
yeah,
I were to
and
look at it, it's more than just her popularity and what she's bringing, and she can use that as leverage. Now, if she tries to use the whole, I'll stay one more year in college because she's eligible,
mhm,
that might give her a little bit more leverage because now she's able to keep her NIL deals. But if that young
mhm.
lady's not playing basketball and not playing basketball in the States, I don't know if she has those NIL deals like that.
Well, I'm trying to think. All right, so I think though that she has enough leverage that if say like if she went overseas and she played, and
Mm-hmm.
the outrage that I think like the outrage that that would create, that number one, that would be it'll make the WNBA look bad if she was to say, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and play overseas. I think she could still keep those NIL deals because her base would keep her popular enough. Whereas though she could keep those NIL deals and those contracts that she has.
That's very
Because when you
possible. That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
know, like, all right, so when you look at men's sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
No male athlete has ever come in to the sport with that kind of base and that's because of like what we have like social media and stuff like that and
Right.
what she did in college, you know what I mean? So she earned
Right.
that base wasn't
Right.
given to her. But when you think
Right.
about like what she is bringing to the table coming in the league, I think that because like when I look at like say like for instance like when LeBron came in the league, like LeBron wasn't in a position where he would have been able to make a move like that. Say like if the NBA wasn't playing, they wasn't paying their players enough. So LeBron wouldn't have been able to say like, well, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and play overseas because he didn't have that kind of base. A lot of people knew about LeBron and they liked, you know what I mean? They liked him and everything, but he wouldn't have been able to do something like that for in the NBA. But
Mm-hmm.
her situation is different because her following and her base is really, really big.
Mm-hmm.
They already talking about as far as like she go, like they are talking about like moving some of the games to larger venues because they expect to
Absolutely.
sell, yeah, they expect to sell more seats because
Absolutely.
she coming to their town.
Yes.
So
Absolutely, they are. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
But that's
so
still, but it's just so much more to it than just that. See, that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand the conflict of interest that's going on
mm,
inside of that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You talking about ruining not just you talking about disrupting the status quo, not just affecting the WNBA. You will actually affect the partners you have and you're in business with. Because if the WNBA is affected, they too are affected. So
well,
now
I think I think
you talking about a young lady and her influence going up against so many different corporate institutions collectively, and they control
yeah.
the media. So now you talking about putting a spin on things. You can always create a spin, and you can actually find ways to try to assassinate her character through the media to
Well,
try
the
to
thing,
affect the mindset of the fan.
well, and the thing about that too, though, where I would push back on that is that because
Mhm.
we have social media now, and then
Yes.
so when she could put her, you know what I mean, she could put her own narrative out there, which
Hmm.
you know what I mean, put the truth out there, and then people know about that.
Hmm.
So, and as far as like conflicts of interest, when you think about
Hmm.
like what Colin Kaepernick when
Hmm.
when he went through that situation with taking the knee,
Hmm.
he still was able to broker a contract deal with Nike. And so Nike do business with they do business with the NFL.
Hmm.
They do business with individual players throughout the
Hmm.
NFL.
Hmm.
Nike do deals all over the world. So
Hmm.
Colin Kaepernick still was able to get a Nike deal. So I don't think that her deals would be affect. As a
Yeah,
matter of
but
fact, I think her deals would look better.
yeah, but no, they wouldn't. but I don't believe they would. Nike, but Colin Kaepernick didn't have deals with so many different corporate interests whose bread got butted by the NFL. Nike's bread didn't get butted by the NFL. Nike
So
was able to strike a separate deal and make money off activism because that's a new brand now. Nike just grabbed onto him and used the lane to generate some more revenue. But the NFL, they're not a major player in the NFL. They do make money
who's
off
not
the league.
Nike?
No.
Yeah.
Man, back then, Papa John was moving the needle, State Farm moving it. It's so many other big corporations. Nike is not a major player for them. Their bread ain't getting butted. Nike bread got butted from running, from basketball, the Air Jordan brand, like all that. They got more, their bread get butted more through basketball than it does football.
Well, yeah, I don't know if Nike, if they make more money in football or whatever sport, but still they do business. But
it's not a major conflict of interest. What would have been a major conflict of interest? Let's say when Colin rose to fame and the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, he got a Papa John's deal. Mm-hmm. Now you talking a major conflict and interest. If he'd have got something like that. Yeah. Or like now with the State Farm, like with Patrick Mahomes got some of that stuff. Now you talking conflict of interest. How many Nike commercials do you see? Major commercials during the NFL games?
I don't know, but I think it's a good look for Nike, for State Farm, to champion those type of like a feminist type cause. So if they would champion like Colin Kaepernick's cause, because all right, if you look at it like that, right? Mm-hmm. Nike, you got two large organizations. You got Nike and you got the NFL. Mm-hmm. So Colin Kaepernick, in the scope of things, he don't matter to either one of those companies. So if you do it like, all right, so I don't know what Colin Kaepernick's contract was, mm-hmm. but it's nothing in comparison to what the business that Nike do with the NFL. I know that Nike do. Their business is larger with the NFL than it is with Colin Kaepernick, because mm-hmm. I think his deal was around about like $20 or $30 million. I know they do at least that with the NFL. So if they thought that doing business with Colin Kaepernick would disrupt their business, then they, you know what I mean, then they wouldn't have picked up that cause.
All right, now here, going back to the major conflict of interest, Colin Kaepernick taking his stand mm-hmm. was not going to affect the NFL's rating, viewership, and numbers. So therefore, they have no problem. There's no problem with Nike striking a deal with him, getting the money off his activism position, but also doing business. They have no problem with Colin doing that. I'm getting big with you because you're not going to disrupt the money I'm getting from the NFL, because what you're doing ain't going to really affect the NFL viewership. But you talk about Caitin, that has so much of a bigger impact. Mm-hmm. So now if I'm in bed with her and I'm State Farm and I'm also getting money off the WNBA, I'm CBS, I'm getting money off the I'm all these different corporations. Now you're going to affect my money. Colin wasn't going to affect Nike's money when it came to the NFL, because his movement, I think, that didn't do nothing to the rate. It wasn't big enough. Yeah, it ain't like it was Michael Jordan. It's not like it was. All right, let's say it's not like it was Patrick Mahomes taking the knee. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I mean, the way I think that if Caitlin Clark decided that she wanted to, I think any company that did not all right, so if she already has sponsors with State Farm or whatever deals that she got, mm-hmm. if she was to take that kind of a stand and mm-hmm. and then State Farm was to back away from her, that would be worse for business than like any other thing. I think that would make State Farm look bad if they was like, well, we can't, because the cause that she is championing, a lot of people, you know what I mean, they already got a lot of support for that cause.
Mm. Well, I'll say this. State Farm won't let her take that stand. I'll put it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I
You
think,
know,
and
so
not
they
that I,
so State Farm wouldn't allow themselves to be in a position where they have to back away from her. They're not going to let her take that stand. And I'm speculating here. I don't know the stipulation between the
Mhm.
contracts and the deals she's got business-wise with them, but I do know
Yeah,
that these corporations, they have a large stake in the league as well as the players.
yeah. And by the WNBA, I think State Farm probably make more money off of like the NBA than they do the WNBA because of the times that the games are you know what I mean? Because number
Yeah.
one, you only have how many games do the WNBA play like about us in a season? Probably like about in between like I don't know, 20 something games, I think. I don't know. I'm
What
just
WNBA,
guessing. But
right?
it's
But
more
it's not a lot, right? They're making more off the NBA.
yeah.
But here's the caveat too, Mike. This is what we underestimate as well. When you start setting a precedent, that can have ramification across all of sports. So
Hmm.
now you're talking about State Farm make their most money off the NFL. The NFL is the most lucrative. I would
Hmm.
not be surprised if the NFL didn't put pressure on State Farm if Caitlin wanted to take a stance like that, because you're going to affect sports across the board. Now you'll have
Yeah.
players in other situations. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just WNBA.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just of the belief that I think that she would get so much uh support if she made that kind of move because like the feminist movement is just so big. And then you have women within all of these organizations, all of these companies that we talking about that would be like not just women, but you got a lot of people in these organizations that would be like, oh yeah, that's her movement probably would be more popular, would definitely be more popular than Colin Kaepernick's movement.
It would be huge, but like I said, here again, it would be huge. It'd be more popular. That's why it would be such a detriment to them companies she's
Hmm.
in business with. And as far as the feminist movement,
Hmm.
the feminist movement is benefiting more from her going the route she's going.
How so?
Because like you even hear you can they had this thing called Title IX, I think. Something got passed and it did something for collegiate sports and no discrimination against sex and race and women and stuff, all activities and all that stuff. So the
Okay.
women's movement felt like the inclusion. They felt like the WNBA being here now. They thinking about the 2020 collective bargaining, raising the revenue. They thinking about the NIL deal. They thinking about the new viewership, how the sport is growing.
Right.
They feel like women are winning with that. So do we really need to go so radical to really,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
things are coming, and I think the women feminists are wrapping their arms around the whole idea of these young ladies coming up now being very feminine and also
Hmm.
playing the sport, and pushing the needle. But I don't think a lot of these groups, I don't necessarily think, pushing back and going to rebellious and trying to force your hand. I don't know if they see it
Yeah.
necessary because they see growth.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if they don't feel like that's necessary, and then maybe they not not serious about their movement. You know what I mean? Because
Well, they
if
are,
they have an opportunity,
I think they are.
but
But if you
you saying
look,
it's too radical.
huh?
So you
Say,
saying that type of movement would be too radical for them.
I'm just saying, I think when all this excitement and the women looking at what's on the verge, see, everybody's anticipating this explosion.
Right.
They don't want to ruffle no, cause no waves.
Yeah.
They don't want to. Now, I'll
Yeah.
say this: if it was just Kate and it
Hmm.
wasn't a lot of excitement in terms of this whole new crop of players, and these narratives and these storylines and these rivals and the talent and the femininity, all this stuff coming into the league. If it was just Caitlin, then it'd be more of a, I need to do this maybe. But it's so much excitement right now. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think she feels like. I think they just see it as already that she's blazing a trail and growth is coming. Like, I don't think the activism lane is the way to go for them. I don't think they see it that way.
Yeah,
I do think these corporations. I do think these corporations will play hardball with her, even though she's a great white hope, so to speak. I think they'll play hardball. You don't force an institution's hand.
Yeah,
you see an increase, you ain't gonna make me give you more. You're not gonna make me do it. I'm gonna find a way to fight you back.
Yeah, I think the fact that, I think some people in the organization or those kind of, they might think that this might be the perfect time because, like I said, she has more leverage than any other ball player that has come to this. So if you have leverage, then you be like, well, all right, well, let me strike now while the iron is hot. You know what I mean? Because when will the WNBA or anybody get an opportunity to exercise that type of leverage? So let's say if they take and they let this opportunity go past, and then they wind up not getting the the money that they want to get or anything like that, then they'll feel like they missed the opportunity.
Yeah, but here again, I think they see that strike wise hot mean go in the league and really perform at a high level and keep, growing the sport through the play on the court. That's what I just think they see. So I think they ready to seize the opportunity that they have. But I don't think they trying to, like I said, I can't see them, viewing it as let's hold out, because you got WNBA players right now. You got to remember, they agreed to this contract.
Yeah, that's true. But so they agreed to that contract based on the leverage that they held at that time. You know what I mean? So now, like I said, now that they may have more leverage, so what did Mikey say? They're going to have to make the adjustment sooner or later. They're going to have to lose talent to countries willing to pay. And see, that's what I said. So she, like the $300,000 that she is going to make over 4 years, she'll surpass that if she go overseas way more than what she would get here. And then the benefit from that, like I said, would be she would just create so much of a storm because, number one, people are already outraged about the amount of money that they offer, right? And then so she could sort of like shame the WNBA into stepping up to the plate.
Right.
Because it's already
she can, but that's ugly. And you can do that, but that's ugly. And you also, like I said, it's not just the WNBA you be fighting against. And you got to keep this in mind for her brand. The Olympics is coming up. So the last thing she wants to do is to go into this, push back against the pain, start a movement, and the Olympics is coming up. You understand? Like she, you know what I mean? So they've gotten these young ladies. These young ladies have bought in to this idea of we're moving the needle forward. And they think they're doing it by their charisma, personalities, rivalries, and their play on the court. And I think that's what I think they all in on it.
Yeah. So, all right, Mikey said this season is going to change the W. I agree with that.
Yes.
I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
I agree with that. Like I said, just from watching, like when you watched like the WNBA draft and you saw the facility where they held it at, I mean, it was like standing room only. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
And the crowd, you know what I mean? A lot of people was watching on TV. So it's definitely drawing a lot of eyes, a lot of attention and stuff like that. That's why I said that you know, like these young ladies have leverage.
They do.
They got
They
leverage
do.
on a scale
Yes.
that you know what I mean. Like not even the men had this kind of leverage.
Let's go back to your point as far as the NIL deals and stuff. They
Mm-hmm.
walking into the league making more money than people in the league. So part of
Exactly.
them are a part of their spirit isn't even hungry.
Mm-hmm.
They okay with
Right.
taking 300,000. I'll make 70 something this year because I'm already getting millions. See, that's what's
Right.
helping the
Right.
WNBA as well. Because
So
these
all right.
girls
So
coming in. Yeah.
let me add my thing to that. All right. So
Okay.
say like if you somebody who been in the WNBA, a player who's been in the WNBA for like 8, 10 years, and then a young lady
Mhm.
come in there and she got these NIL deals and she making more than you know what I mean in 1 year than you probably made in your whole career. And this
Mhm.
young lady say, all right, and this young lady take a stand and she like, you know, that's you know, like the pay is not fair. I believe y'all can do better with the pay. That's going to endear her to the people in the league.
Mhm. It will, but this is the caveat. Women in the league will be endeared to her, but they don't have the courage to sacrifice their careers. That's what
Oh
hurt
no, and
Tyler.
they won't even have to,
But they
huh?
will have to. They will have to because whenever you take a stance of saying I'm not going to play, now you get into
Yeah.
that murky water. Replacement players, people overseas, people looking for an opportunity, things of that nature. It scares people to have to pick it and get on a strike. That's fearful. It takes courage to do that, and
Well,
especially when you're just a mediocre player and you get an opportunity to play and make money for something you love. You risking a lot, man.
I don't think that the ladies in the league now. The good thing about that is the young ladies in the league now won't have to. They won't have to like pick it or do anything like that because, like I said, it'll be they'll be shaming the league. She would be shaming the league if she was to take that kind of stance.
But would they really be shaming the league when the league's position is we're not generating that kind of revenue? How are you
Right,
shaming them?
right. Yeah. Well, I think. Well, and my thing is another thing with her is she could say, "You paying me $300,000 over 3 years. What was that? 3 years?" I said. So they pay
I
her
think four. I think
four
four.
years. Okay, over 4 years, three hundred
Mm-hmm.
thousand dollars over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she is before she even step on the court. They will have made. They not doing that bad that they're not gonna make $300,000. You know what I mean? They gonna make $300,000 before she even shoot one free throw off of her. Just because of the you know, you got ticket sales going up, you got jerseys selling, and now you have people, you know, they talking about moving to larger venues and
Mm-hmm.
probably in other ways where we don't know that they generating cash off of, you know, these new young crop of young ladies that's coming to the league.
Okay. So now the money that they've made off her, the draft, just ticket sales and all that, is that justifying increasing the money for everybody in the WNBA? Or are you just gonna give it to her?
Oh no! I wouldn't just
See what
say
I'm
what
saying?
you know.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't think.
The league's position is we're not generating the same kind of revenue as our counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
And per what we generating, this is what we're giving them. And they can also stand on this whole thing is we're giving them because reports have they're giving them 50% of incremental revenue. So they gotta and the NBA players are getting a guaranteed 50% of that revenue generated. So they got something a leg to stand on where they wouldn't be shamed all that. Now, what the players could do is they could take a stand and force more transparency on those numbers that are
Mm-hmm.
unknown. But they
Yeah.
got the WNBA has a position that can actually counter this whole shaming them. We don't generate the revenue.
Right. I
You know,
understand that. I
if you
understand
and they
that.
can
So,
always say to the public, they can spin it. If you really want to support these players and see that they get increased and everything, support the league. Watch, tune in.
right.
You know what I mean?
That's why. These young ladies who coming in right now are the perfect people for that, because they are bringing a base with them. They have fans, and I mean, it's just a lot of support and a lot of there's just
Yeah,
a lot of excitement about this new crop of
yeah,
players that's coming to the league.
yeah.
You
And it's
know,
like Mikey said, but
because
this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Like Mikey said, this year is going to really change things. So now you got all that coming in. So now you seize the opportunity, and you girls get out there, you put on a show. You
Mhm.
ball out. And now you have more justification, because when you raise those numbers, raise that revenue, now you can go back to the negotiating table, because that's what
Right,
they had to do before. They threatened to hold out or walk out. You have to threaten a walkout to some degree to get them back to the
right.
negotiating table. But I don't think you want to do that right now when the league has the
Mhm.
position. We don't have the revenue now. All this excitement looks like we might be able to generate it, but we got to show
Right,
them through. You
right. All
know?
right. So all right. So all right. So I now what about all right? So if they all right, so say Caitlin Clark play 1 year,
Yeah.
and they sell out all these, they sell out all the arenas. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Cardosa and all them. I mean, they just be packing them in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then they have more leverage. I can agree that then they will have more leverage to be able to go to the table and say, all right, well, we can, we have to pay these women more, or they going, they going to just step away and go play some, because they created a demand, more of a
Yes.
demand.
Yes. And I think that I don't even think they would have to leverage that. I think the WNBA, I think they will, in the Players Association, I think they'll go back to the table, negotiate, increase things. And I also think if that happens, although the money might not come right away, all those young ladies' NIL deals will keep going up, because they're producing,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're producing more revenue for the sport. So those companies they in bid with, they're going to get that chop if they play well.
oh yeah.
Might not come through the
So,
WNBA right away, because you got to get back to the collective bargaining agreement. But they're going to get that money.
so but see, but what that means is that somebody else appreciates me more than what you appreciate me. That's all.
No, it
That
doesn't.
that that proves.
Well, I'll say this. That doesn't prove that necessarily. What it proves is, not that they appreciate you more. You you signed a contract. I'm honoring that contract. I appreciate you, but you got to remember they signed that deal. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Right,
and to be honest with you, the WNBA was very smart, because it's just like you always saying, Mike, to grow the sport, they need to sexualize it. They need to lower the rims. They need this, that. Even the Saturday
right.
Night Live skit, the guy made a joke about giving Caitlin an apron and making it like the
Hmm.
WNBA didn't exist, and all, because nobody's
Yeah,
interested. So, with that being said, um, they were smart in signing that deal where we'll pay you incrementally per our revenue going up,
yeah,
because it has to go up. Like, you know what I mean? It's less of a gamble. So
yeah. Well,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I understand. I understand like that part of it. Like, so if they say, well, like when our revenue grow up, then you
yeah.
know. But
And do I
do
really,
you believe?
don't appreciate? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do I
Do
really
you
not
what?
appreciate you when I gave you a contract, gave you an out in 19, gave you another contract? I mean, come on. At some point, you
Um.
got to honor your contract, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can honor your contract, but then, so now, do you believe that the WNBA then is operating in good faith?
Yes, as long as they're not
Yeah,
breaching their contract. Both parties are operating in good faith as long as you're not breaching the contract. Now, when you start talking about holding out, leveraging, refusing to play, you're going against that contract you signed.
Yeah.
Because you
But
knew
then,
what the compensation was. Huh?
yeah, I mean now that's true. But the books are not entirely open to those young ladies. Like the women in the WNBA, they have an idea of what, you know what I mean? They have an idea of what kind of money that they're
Right.
generating. But
Right.
they, so if you go into arenas as a player
Mm-hmm.
and you start seeing these sold out arenas and you see jerseys flying off of the shelf, you know that they're making money through concessions and people going to
Mm-hmm.
want to see these young ladies play on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to naturally assume that, okay, because like I said, these young ladies, they booking games in larger arenas already, and they
Yeah.
haven't even
All
played a
right.
game.
Right.
So what
So
that
now,
mean
so now
that means that they generate money.
So now if I'm the players, I'm putting pressure on the Players Association. You need to get to the bottom of it. You need to
Mhm.
see those figures. You need to, whatever's in the dark and unknown, we need transparency. See, the players have to
Mhm.
push the Players Association. That's their job.
Yeah,
Y'all got to get on y'all job. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's why you
yeah,
have the union, right?
yeah. Definitely, they need that union to step in there for them. But
Yeah, that's who you put pressure on at this point. You don't put pressure on the league, you put pressure on your union.
well, well, it's the same thing because you pressuring the union so they can pressure the league and stay on top of the league to make sure that
Right.
they operating in good faith.
Absolutely.
And
So
so
you right.
and so the
But
union, that's when the union will come back to the players and say, well, they'll tell them like what their options are in order to
yes,
get the league to move in a way that they want them to move in.
right. But that's not a
And
public
that's why I was
display.
saying, you said it's not.
That's not a public display though. That's player. You got a player rep, you got union reps, you got a
Mhm.
protocol. So you're doing that in meetings and stuff, but it's not, it's not coming out publicly. And that public display is when you can't get anything done.
Right.
And I would
And
have to
that's
give the
leverage.
WNBA, I would have to give the WNBA and the union a chance to get something done.
So give them a chance to now. So if the women who play in the WNBA, if they thought that the league was operating in good faith, then they wouldn't be complaining now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wouldn't be
They're
no
not
complaint.
complaining. I don't think they
They
complaining. I think they lobbying.
well lobbying. They wouldn't be lobbying. My fault. They would not be lobbying for more pay. You know what I mean? For a larger percentage. All right. So what's the
Okay.
urban platform chat? Say bless. Yeah. So they wouldn't be appreciate that.
Right.
They wouldn't be lobbying for a larger. But see, that's
Yeah,
not just
you
in the
have to.
that's
That's part of growing. That's part of growing your sport. That's part of pushing the needle. That ain't necessarily complaining. That's you using
yeah.
platforms and stuff. You pushing that conversation.
But
You
see,
know.
and it's not just about the WNBA though, because that's in a lot of industries where women feel like they're underpaid. You know what I mean? Like as compared to like men. So
Yes.
that kind of
Yes.
cause right there, like I said, that cause right there is you know, that's big right there.
It's a very
So,
big cause. It's a very big cause. All I'm saying to you
mhm,
is the WNBA players and the girls coming in and stuff, they think they're addressing that cause
mhm.
by pushing the game forward with their play and with all the things.
Yeah,
That's how they think they're addressing that cause. So many different
yeah,
ways to address the cause. And I think that's what they
right.
think they're doing. You know what I mean? Doing it this way.
I don't think it hurts to let the WNBA know that these women have that option, at their disposal. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
because and like Mikey said, it's across the board, you know, in a lot of women's sports. I think in tennis, I'm not sure what I think in tennis, like women are fairly compensated.
Right.
And maybe golf.
Right.
But like a lot of like team sports and stuff like that, I don't think the women are, you know, compensated like the men are in their sports.
Yeah, you have to look at the percentages because it's not about what they're making. It's about what she say.
Yeah.
I see my name. What she say?
Clayton should join the WNBA union. She said you should join the WNBA union.
I would be a part of the players union. I would never join. I would never rally for corporations. But I'm just saying on that. That's why I say the players should be pushing their union. But I'll say this: you have to look at the percentages and stuff. I know. I would never champion the league, the institutions.
Yeah.
No, I'm anti-institutions, but people have to recognize what they're doing when they sign these deals and stuff. It's a way to go about stuff. And as far as the percentages, we look at how much they making and say it's unfair, but you have to look at the percentage of the revenue that's generated. So is women's sports all over generating that revenue that would put their percentage up near their counterparts?
Right. Yeah, and see, I understand that. I get that, and I think that's fair. You know what I mean? Like
you too. Might be crazy. I'm sorry. I saw that. My bad.
Yeah. I just think that to let the league know that you know what I mean, because if these young ladies coming into the league and they, like I say, they selling out these different arenas, and then the people in the WNBA and the NBA see that, you know what I mean, that is, you know what I mean, the demand has increased. Yeah. So once the demand has increased, and then these women are like, okay, now our pay should increase. You know what I mean?
It's going.
So that's,
and I believe it's going to.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But think about this. It has to increase. And I'm going to tell you why it has to increase. Even before you come back to the negotiating table, it has to increase. You know why? Because whatever the percentage is on that, if the revenue is more, that percent's going to make their money more.
Right.
Even if you don't get an increase in the percentage, it's still going to make their money more.
Yeah. So I'm curious to find out like what that percentage is, and is that percentage of the revenue share, is that in line with what the men negotiated for their revenue share?
Well, right.
So you say the men is like 50%?
Yeah, the NBA is 50% guaranteed because, you know, they have a proven record. Like their first couple collective bargaining agreements wasn't on this level. But they have a proven track record now. They have all this revenue pouring into the sport, and they've negotiated a deal. I think this deal went in effect in 2023. So now they get guaranteed 50% of the revenue. Now the women, the reason I said 20%, because the 50% is on revenue, extra revenue over their target revenue. So anything extra, they get 50%. But what they were saying was it's only been a 20% increase each year. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at a 20% increase and 50% of that, that's only 10%. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but also those numbers aren't known. Now it's not known to whoever writing the reports and who doing the research, but I'm sure the Players Association in the league, I think the Players Association know those numbers, you know, but
So let me respond to Time, right? So Time says the WNBA won't, I think he meant grow, because of jealousy and hate for this one white girl, Caitlin Clark. Is sad that why women basketball won't grow. I think that's why I said earlier in the broadcast, I think that she is going to going to run into some jealousy and some hate because of the attention that she getting. You know what I mean? I agree with that. But I think that one way for her to if she was to take a stance, this kind of stance would really endear her to her peers in the WNBA. I'm not saying that that's what she should do, but I'm just saying that like she would bypass, if she was to take this kind of stance, because how can you hate on somebody that's advocating for you and your, you know what I mean, and for your cause? I mean, some people might do it, but I don't,
You make a
it'll
good
be hard.
point. Like I don't
Yeah.
dispute that at all. It would
Right,
endear her to the veterans and people. It would endear her to them,
right, yeah,
But as far as the hate and jealousy making the league not grow, ironically, that can also stimulate growth because people are
mm,
tuned in for that controversy. People are
right,
tuned in to see those rivals. Some people are going to tune in to see her fall. Some people are going to tune her in to see her battle the adversity and overcome.
right,
So
right,
I don't know if it's going to stunt the growth, but I can understand where Tom's
right.
coming from. But I don't know if
Yeah,
it's going to
because
stunt the growth. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, you're right. Because I mean, if she encountered a lot of hate from other WNBA players,
Mhm.
which some of them said that she it's par for the course. Like anytime you come
Yeah.
into a new organization, you're gonna get tried anyway. You know what I mean? Somebody
Yeah.
gonna try you. Somebody gonna be jealous of you anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if she ball out, like you know what I mean, and she play and she earn their respect, then like you said,
Yeah.
that's good for the league,
It's
and
good for
it's
the
good for
league.
her. It's good for the league. And
Hmm.
it's not, the other young ladies who are already in there. It's not a bad thing that they challenge her. You know what I
No,
mean? It's
not
it's
at
it's,
all.
it's good for competition.
You got to come after her.
Yeah,
Got to
yeah,
come
yeah,
after her. Make her grow. And
yeah,
that's good
yeah,
for the viewership. Like people, yes, that's going to be great too. Come at her.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Create them storylines. And especially
yeah.
now that you got all these eyes on you, you got to show and prove. Earn you
Mhm.
a sponsorship, earn you a commercial, earn you a corporate relationship. Go after this chick, you know? And
Yeah,
that's just
yeah.
gonna bring the
And
best
so
out.
that's
That's just gonna bring the best out of them. If they true competitors, that's gonna bring the best out of them. And that alone will elevate the sport and interest in the sport,
yeah,
So
right. Yeah,
no, that's good.
it'll create storylines, and I mean, like Michael
Yep,
Jordan even went through it when he first hit the league. You know what I mean? Like
yes, we
some players,
did.
he faced jealousy, and on his own team, some players ain't wasn't really feeling him on his own team.
Yep,
So I think that and that's just something that you're going to encounter
yep,
when you talk about competition and jealousy and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I don't believe in just what I mean, I don't believe in just giving somebody something just because for any reason. Like she definitely gonna have to prove herself. Nobody should just step aside or immediately crown her as whatever. So and I don't
yeah.
think them women not gonna go for that.
They're not doing that. They're not doing
Yeah, the
that.
women in the league, they definitely not gonna go that route. And I wouldn't expect anything other than that, you know.
You know, what's very interesting in this too is the comparison to Larry Bird coming out of college.
Hmm.
And if you look at it, she's a Midwestern girl, Iowa, and she's playing in
Yeah,
Indiana. And that's
yeah,
Larry Bird home, French Lick, Indiana.
right.
You see so many similarities with this. And it's almost
Yeah.
like I feel like it was orchestrated in a sense to keep
Hmm.
her in the Midwest and keep her representing Indiana. The
Yeah,
Hoosiers, all that kind of thing. I just think that's very interesting. And her nose is not as pronounced as Larry Bird's, but her nose is kind of
yeah,
pronounced. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
she can shoot. Larry shot the three.
yeah.
I just found that interesting. It's not important. I was just
Yeah.
finding that
Now,
interesting.
you know what?
Yeah.
Early when the college season first started, I think I did I compared her and Angel Reese, Bird and Magic. You know what I
Bird and
mean?
Magic. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
to carry over their success because it all started from last season. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
LSU won a championship. So
Yeah.
to carry their success from the college level and over to the
Mhm.
NBA level, I said that if they could do that, then that would elevate the WNBA, just like Bird and Magic did for the NBA. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people made that comparison. I remember, like I
Mhm.
said, making that early,
But I
But
mean, you can see similarities in her with Bird with the nose and just being in the
yeah.
Midwest. That's what I'm really finding real interesting. Like, and now she's on Indiana. That's real
Yeah.
interesting. Man.
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah,
tough.
you're right. Yeah, she is on
Yeah,
Indiana. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's French Lick, Indiana, where Bird come from. It ain't
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
said. It's not.
exactly. That's where he come
It's
from
just.
too.
Yeah, yeah. You see her. I saw a
Right?
picture of her today, and I'm like, damn, her nose kind of a little pronounced too,
Yeah.
like Bird. Bird had that bird nose. She's got a little small version of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, I
Yeah.
see your point though. Like I said, I see your point. The leverage, that would be a phenomenon. That would be a phenomenon if she did that, and it would be
Yeah.
huge. But
Oh yeah, I'm thinking that she I think financially she would definitely benefit from making a move like that. I'm telling you. Because that
that
kind of
that's where
card,
you and I differ.
you don't think she'll make, man, that kind of movement, she would definitely.
I
So
don't know if
you
she
think
would
she
make.
would be
I don't
losing
know.
money
I
if she
don't know
made
if
that?
she would make more money, huh?
Because I mean, so many corporations, that kind of movement, that's big money right there. If Colin Kaepernick, like I said, if Colin Kaepernick can get $30 million for not taking a knee or whatever he got, I think that for her to stand up for a feminist right type of man, that kind of issue, she would make so much money. I'm telling you. Not just Nike. I'm
Yeah.
thinking other corporations would just line up
See,
because you,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know other corporations. I don't know other
yeah.
corporations. I don't
Well,
know
I
what
think
what
sport.
they relate because I don't know who's making money off what.
Hmm.
I just don't know.
Well,
Like here again, Colin Kaepernick didn't threaten to crumble a league. If she becomes
she
anti the
wouldn't be
WNBA,
threatening.
she would crumble that league. If she decided to be
Yeah,
anti WNBA, as big as that would be, that would bring that league to its knees.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if she would be crumbling that league though. I think
What?
that
You
yeah.
don't think so?
I think that because they already subsidized by the NBA.
It doesn't matter. That will
Yeah,
crumble that league. That will crumble it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Her business partners ain't gonna let her do that. No way.
yeah.
No way. No
Yeah.
way. Because it's more,
See, we
they stand to gain more. They stand to gain more with going along with the program.
yeah. So, Mikey, you agree with what? Which one? What point you agree with?
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to know like what point you agree with because yeah, man, she would make so much money. She'd be big. I'm telling you, she'd be big like Ali was in boxing.
Yeah, but Ali wasn't making money during his protest. He was broke.
Nah, he was
See,
broke, but she
you look you looking at Colin because he got that Nike deal, but you got to remember Colin's protest didn't affect the NFL like that.
yeah,
It
and
definitely
I don't
made
think
him
her her
it made
protest.
him a cult. It made him a cult figure in terms of Black Lives Matter and activism, but it didn't affect that
Yeah,
league like that.
yeah, yeah. If she take a stand, if she take a stand. And
Hmm.
like I said, that demand is there. Like I said, she already got that base, that following, and then if she took a stand like that, yeah, that'd be big. Not saying that that's what she should do, but all right. So you got Nike, you got Adidas, you got Under Armour. Like that market. If you Under Armour and you can tap into her market, little
Hmm.
girls, women, you know what I mean? And she got like she with Prada now. That's a whole nother market right there you can tap into. If I'm her agent, I tell her to start some stuff just out of just out of from the financial stand of it.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she'd definitely be the face of a movement. And then
Yep.
man,
But that's not
That's a
always
whole
profitable.
market.
That's all I'm saying. Being the face of a movement is not always profitable. That's all I'm saying.
Well, back, yeah. I mean, like, all right. So up until Colin Kaepernick, it really wasn't.
And the
I
only
was
reason
surprised
it was with Colin, because he wasn't such an impactful figure in the
when.
NFL. I guarantee you, if Tom Brady would have tried to do that, you understand what I'm saying? Then
Go
that would
ahead.
have had more of an impact. Because now you're talking about business partners losing money off. That would have more of an impact on the NFL. That would put a dent in the NFL's revenue. Colin didn't put a dent in NFL's revenue. So if I'm a business partner of Colin and I'm getting money with the NFL, you taking a stand ain't affecting me. I'm a double dip. I'm gonna get money off the league because they still
Mhm.
thriving, and I'm gonna get money off your stance. But when you talking
I'm
about a
trying.
stance that'll crumble a league, I don't know.
I'm
Because
trying.
now you're affecting one of my revenue streams.
Well, the NFL, I think the NFL had to be very careful about how they managed that situation with Colin Kaepernick, because it did it. You had your fan base was starting to like fracture off, and you know what I mean. You was dividing, you was alienating certain parts of your fan base. So the decision you make is like, all right, do I want to piss off people and alienate this fan base by doing this or doing that? So it was a way that they had to you know to navigate that situation so they didn't alienate. Yeah, because if you alienate, you definitely going to hurt your fan base.
I'm gonna say this: being the face of a movement
Mm-hmm.
is some bullshit. Because the movement and the people you're doing it for will turn their back on you through their own fears. And also, when you really become a threat to the establishment, that's what I'm trying to say. A threat to
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
establishment do away with you.
yeah,
Now, I'm not saying they'll go as far as to come up dead or anything like that, but you talking about playing a dangerous game. You talking about billions. You talking about the influence. And now this
yeah,
one person has such a huge following. She is a legitimate threat to the establishment.
yeah.
Whenever
And
you that, they get you out of here. Martin Luther
well,
King was a threat to the establishment. Malcolm X, a threat to the establishment. They get you out of here.
and the fact, I think another thing that works in her favor, and we ain't even bring it up, is that she's a young white girl. So you know, she got, you know, I think they would think twice about how they would manage, you know, that type of situation. She's protesting for what a lot of people believe is a worthy cause, you know.
But it's not about
Man,
what the people believe. I agree.
yeah,
It is a
yeah,
worthy cause. Everybody in America so many people would adore her for that. What I'm
right,
saying
right,
is the establishment. See, the
yeah,
establishment has no face. So you can't really shame them. The establishment has no face. And when you become
yeah,
a threat to that, them people behind the veil that you really affecting,
yeah,
come on, man. I'm just saying, it
yeah,
sounds good on the surface. It looks good, Mike. I agree with you. Like everything you're
yeah,
saying, you make a very good point. It wouldn't be no better
yeah,
time, it appears. But I'm just saying, when you start talking about being a threat to the establishment, whether you believe or not, Jesus was a threat to the Roman Empire.
yeah,
And everybody adored him. They got him up out of here. You understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah. But the
that's just huh?
the Caitlin Clark, people who own these big organizations, people who most of the people who run these organizations, she looks like their daughter. You know what I mean? So it would be hard for them to destroy their daughter. You know what I mean? So that I think,
Got
man,
ways. They have ways. They have ways.
yeah,
You have ways. Guess what? Something random can happen to her. It could be a crazed fan that come up and do this, that, and the other and take out. They have ways.
yeah,
You know, they could make her be a victim of some kind of random shit.
Yeah.
You know, shit. John Kennedy was beloved, and he was white, and they made it seem like some crazy person assassinated him. Man, listen, that's a danger. All I'm saying, that's a dangerous game you talking about when you talking about people and things in high places and big billions and billions of dollars and
Yeah.
corporations investing. They've already invested so much money in the upcoming season and where the direction of the league is going. Now you're talking about all that stuff at risk. I don't know, bro. You
Yeah.
don't want to play games with them people. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. White or black.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
she say?
She said bingo. Yeah. Well,
Damn.
yeah, man.
But you're right, though. I mean,
I
every point you absolutely right. If she did it, it would be monumental. And
yeah.
that's why they would get her out of here, because it would be monumental.
Yeah. That's just, that's just something that I just wanted to
No, that's
to throw out there, man. When I saw that pay disparage, you know what I mean, between her
yeah.
and Victor Wembanyama, I was like, yeah, man, that's a big difference between the pay, and I know for a lot of people that's like a subject, you know what I mean, that draw a lot of interest. So I just wanted to talk on
No,
that.
that's dope. I want to make a plea to everybody. That is a
Uh-huh.
huge pay disparity. And everybody is falling in love with these young ladies are doing. So people need to
Hmm.
support the sport. Change that dynamic. Change it.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel
And
me? Change it.
I think that like we've been saying for months though, like this new crop of young ladies coming in the league, they changing it, you know what I mean? Because and in so many different ways. Later on, I don't know if you're gonna be available, but probably like about in a couple hours, me and Mike gonna do another show. This time we're gonna talk about Angel Reese and her impact on WNBA and how I think that she is going to help the WNBA grow. So yeah, we're probably like about 5 o'clock. We'll talk about Angel Reese and her impact on the WNBA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to see Mikey face anyway. I want to see her face anyway. I'll try, but I'll just
yeah.
I'll come on and I'll follow
Yeah,
y'all lead, but I want to see her face.
yeah. So
If
if
Usher
you're
the show,
available,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
available,
Will this link work? Will this same link work?
no, it's gonna be a new link. They
Okay, all
generate
right.
new links every time.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
just send it to me, man.
All right.
That's what's up,
So
man. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's
Shout
what's
out to
up.
the
So
ladies, man. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so before we get out of here, I just want to remind everybody to please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, you can go to urbanplatformfashion.com. Check out our merch. We have hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and short sleeve t-shirts. We also have socks. Let me see. Okay, there we go for the socks. Yeah, we have socks which you can you can buy. But now for the socks, you need to go to the what is that? Doggone it. Instagram. For the socks, you got to go to Instagram and go to 1111/socks. And that's where you can order the socks from. And yeah, man. Let me see what
Great.
Mikey got on say. Oh, she said, yeah, Clayton joined back with us. Yeah,
Yeah, I need
yeah.
that energy.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. So
That's what's up,
let me
man.
let me put your runner back up here
Okay.
so you can yeah, so you can tell the people where to how to get your book. So it's
All
back
right.
up there. Yeah.
You know what it is. Amazon.com, where all the books get purchased.
Right.
Clayton Reed Jones, Amazon.com. Trauma, My Love Letter to the World. I believe that link Mike got up there. Probably take you to the page.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the support. It's a great memoir. And if you guys want to keep track with me, my upcoming book, I'm finishing up and stay updated. You can find me on Facebook, Clayton Jones. That'll
Yeah,
connect you to me as well. And I appreciate the shout and the plug.
yeah,
I
no
appreciate
doubt.
the conversation. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, man, it was a good one. It was a good one. I
It's
ain't trying to
always
get Caitlin. I ain't trying to get her in no trouble or nothing, man. But I just
Yeah,
think that'll be big, man.
it
That'll be
would,
epic if she did something like that.
it'd be huge.
Yeah, if she did
That'd
something
be
like that.
huge. But
That'd
now,
be
but now you're talking about really being a threat to the establishment.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's dangerous. You know that, Mike.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
dangerous. But like I
that's
said,
dangerous.
that's their daughter. That's their daughter. So it's you know what I mean. They're gonna look at it different.
Not if you're doing that.
Yeah.
I'll make a, look, I can spin a story like this. A random black chick, jealous of her, hating, young black, killer,
Yeah,
robber. I mean, it's all kinds
yeah,
of ways you can do stuff, man.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't know,
yeah.
bro.
Well,
Boy. Yep. Not
all
saying they'll
right,
do that. Yeah, I'm not wishing
right,
that on
right, right.
them. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
well,
All right, man. Until later.
we great. Yeah, I appreciate you. And so, yeah, Clay, if you know, if you're available around that time, just you know, I'll send you the link just in case.
Okay.
But
All right, bro.
yeah, I appreciate you. All right, everybody,
All
we
right.
great. Get out of here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see
Shout
y'all
out
on
to
the
that
next
dude,
episode.
Tom. Shout out to Tom.
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
him on
yeah.
there
Appreciate
often.
it. Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Thanks.
Peace.